All right, peace be to all. Assalamualaikum. Omar here. I wanted to talk very briefly about the shooting and death of the rapper known as Takeoff. His real name was Kirsnick Khari Ball, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But he was a member of the very popular rap group known as Migos. So, by internet standards, this is old news now because he was killed yesterday. He was pronounced dead yesterday. And it's another tragic and unnecessary death of a well-known rapper. I used to think that one of the problems with our young brothers was, by brothers I mean black guys, black men, fellow black men. I thought our problem was lack of finances and just getting ignored by society. But these guys like Nipsey Hussle, Tupac, of course, Biggie, from way back in the day. And then there's a lot of other lesser known rappers who just in the past year or two who have been shot to death. I thought it was money. Maybe if we had more money, these things would happen. But, these are guys that had money. They had notoriety and still got shot. I had a response to one of my videos talking about this, and somebody said, well, it's really the self-hatred that the white man created, within the mind of the black man. I think there's some validity to that, or probably quite a bit of validity to that. But, my question is, when is that going to stop? I did my medical training as a PA back in the late 90s at DC General Hospital. It's now been torn down to the ground, and it's a set of very nice condos. But literally, when I was doing my trauma surgery rotations, literally every single week, black guys, scores of black guys, would be brought in, shot up, stabbed, and then it was usually over silly things. The ones that were still conscious enough to talk, they'd be like, "Yeah, man, them niggas shot me. Man, I was just standing there and I was beating with this nigga, man. He pulls out his piece and, I can't believe I got shot." He just shot you just over anger. Lack of being able to control their temper. And I know there's a lot of things with our, in our community in particular, dynamics, toxic family dynamics. Lack of father figures, or lack of maybe guidance. But I thought that it would get better, and during the Anthony Williams administration, I'm here in Washington D.C. He promised it would get better. He couldn't do anything about it. Then Adrian Fenty came, couldn't do anything about it. Muriel Bowser has made promises, can't really do anything about it. No politician has got any type of panacea to stop this black on black violence. It's got to come from within ourselves. We really need better family structure. From all accounts, the Migos aren't true gangbangers. My kids know more about them than I do. They're from that generation, but they're not. These aren't. Like OG type of guys. They were relatively nice guys that came from relatively good backgrounds, and still tragically one of them dies in a very horrible and unnecessary way. I don't see an end to this. Unless we as a community are going to be able to adopt a system, a set of beliefs that encourages us, and by us I mean men, young men in particular, to control your temper. Don't do things like womanize, do drugs, that are going to cloud your thinking, whether it's marijuana or alcohol. Apparently this whole thing started with a game of craps, so gambling, leaving those things aside. You got money, you don't need to gamble. it's just an unfortunate thing. And there's this culture that we have, and it's been called black culture, but it really isn't black culture. It came from other people. There's a book by Thomas Sowell called it's called Black Rednecks and White Liberals, and Dr. Sowell talks about how what has been passed off as black culture really is derived from poor white folks, and we adopted it when our ancestors were brought here as slaves. A lot of profanity, referring to each other as niggas. That's got to stop. It's not this negative type of culture that's literally killing us. It's something that's alien to us, and we've got to make a change. I don't know if anybody's going to really listen to me. I'm not particularly influential. I'm a very small time YouTube vlogger, but I've seen a lot from a different perspective. I mean, I've been the one to go talk to people's parents, usually the mother, because she's the only one around, and tell her, I'm sorry, we couldn't save your son. And listening to her scream and trying to catch her as she drops to the floor and just screaming about her son's death. I've seen these things so many times. And I always thought that there'd be so much bloodshed and death that finally our people, us black folks, would say, enough is enough. Let's just stop doing this. I remember the gun buyback program. They keep doing this in DC. Every administration seems to try to do this gun buyback program where they pay people for bringing in their guns, no questions asked. It never works because there seems to be more guns on the street, the very next year. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take for I'd invite people to just adopt a way of life that's going to try to get them to better themselves and practice more self-control. But it's really sad. I ask the Lord to grant solace to the family of Mr. Ball, and hopefully there's not going to be a revenge killing. I saw some videos that suggested these guys were going to go deal with the people who they think killed this young brother. But I saw that more than 20 years ago. That just leads to even more killing, and it never stops. But that's it for now. What are you guys' thoughts on this? For those of you guys that have been following me on YouTube, do you see any end in sight? Is there any answer or cure to stop this black on black killing, with young black men in the inner cities? It is a health issue, and that's why I call my channel what I call it, because I'm very passionate about this. And it's not to ignore other groups, but I am a black man. I've got 3 black sons that are young men, 22, 18, and 14. But and I'm here in DC, one of the most violent areas of DC, actually, with lots of black on black violence. But what do you guys think what do you guys see as an answer to stopping this, or at least curbing it? All right, some sirens there. Okay, guys, subscribe if you want. Take care. Peace.